All right, hello and welcome back to Michael Plays the Classics here on the RPG Academy Twitch channel and YouTube channel and stream and podcast and all that kind of good stuff. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to say that well. Today, not that day. So yesterday I finished finally the Final Fantasy. Yes, Final Fantasy, the original, again, also from the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES. And so today I'm starting a new playthrough. This is going to be the original Legend of Zelda. I expect this one to not take as long. You know, I may regret those words in the future, but for now, I'm thinking this one might be a little bit shorter. So we're going to get into the game. Let me click here. So again, this is one of the first games I ever played. In fact, this might be the first game that I ever played on the Nintendo. Because I know I've mentioned this before, but the first time I played this game, I didn't understand it at all, and I actively hated it. I just did not get it. It didn't make sense to me. I was frustrated with it, and it wasn't until my brother-in-law, well, at the time he wasn't my brother-in-law, he was my sister's boyfriend. He's no longer my brother-in-law because they're divorced. But he had played it. He knew how to play, and he basically showed me, and then from then on, I loved it. To be fair to me, this is the time, this was, early days. The only place you could rent a video game was, in my small hometown, was like a Jack's Rent-A-Center type of place. And you didn't get the manual. So when you rented the game, you didn't get the instruction booklet. So I didn't know anything about the game. I didn't even know how the controls worked. I just started playing it. Welcome, Foxblade. So I did decide to go ahead and start today. Just timing worked out. I got up early enough. I did my walking. My quote-unquote chores are done. So I think 11 o'clock is a time I'm hoping to aim for future streams of these. We shall see. Actually, let me move this over. Actually, move this here, then move this. There we go. All right, so let's get into the game. Very, very classic. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Dun, 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 dun. Let me double check my controls here. Okay. So there's one button. Hopefully I'll remember which one does what and that kind of thing. So my plan is to actually get some additional hearts before I even go into the first dungeon. So there's going to be a little bit of sort of pre-work here before I go to that, again, quote unquote, the first dungeon. So what I like to do is if you head over here to the Red Forest, I'm sure it has a name that I don't remember. You can fight, and again, I don't remember the names of all these creatures. I think they're Goombas, but I also think that's kind of a, not too polite word for certain people. So I don't know that I really want to use that word. I don't know, chicken egg, I don't know where they came from. But anyways, if you fight these things, sometimes they drop bombs as like a reward, resource type of thing, like after once you defeat them. So this is like the quickest way I know to get bombs, so you don't have to find them or buy them. Doesn't always work, unfortunately. Oop. There we go. So no luck yet. So I have to basically reset the board, so it's not going to let any more of these creatures spawn until I reset. So if I go, oh, son of a gun, that sucks. Stinks, sorry. If I go into this dungeon and come back out, it will reset, and then I'll be able to fight more of these things. Of course, now I don't have my, oh, yeah, okay, there we go. I don't have my quote unquote laser sword now, so this is going to make this a lot more dangerous. Oh, no. All right, I'm going to embarrass myself by dying very quickly here. So I am going to just try to run. Here we go. Much better. As with all of these, I make no illusions that I'm particularly good at these games, or that I'm going to teach you anything or show you anything that you didn't already know about the game. But hopefully, as Foxblade has mentioned, it's just bringing back some memories. Oh. Whew. So let's try this one more time. Eventually, these things should drop me a bomb. Aha! There we go. Okay. So now, oops. Ooh, nope, 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 not good. Not good. Ah. Remember, not good. Oh, did you actually, yeah, I know you had mentioned, it seems like a while ago that you were getting ready to start that. So first session go good? Oh no, you're starting it. So you haven't started it yet. Well, that's exciting. Hope happily to continue to hear how it's going. I am playing Forbidden Lands tonight. I ended up getting 3 players through Twitter and Facebook who are going to play with me as I tried that system out for the first time. Pretty excited about that, but also a little nervous. These aren't some of my regulars, so I don't exactly know what to expect, and I don't know if they know what to expect. Oops. Really hope I don't just die right away. So I'm trying to get to a place. There's a place not too far from here that with a bomb you can get an additional heart. And his hearts are your hit points in this game. And when you have all of your hearts, you can shoot your sword out. You're much tougher with more hearts and with full hearts. Like so. Whew. Whoops, I think it's here. There we go. Now you can take the bottle, and that's like a one-time use. Maybe it's 2 times, because there's a red one and a blue one. I don't remember which one's full, which one's half. So that you can like refill your hearts, but really the best play is to always take the actual hearts, because you can buy those bottles of medicine later in the game, but you cannot buy additional hearts. So I don't think you can. There we go. So if I follow this all the way around, it will eventually take me to another place, I believe, where I can bomb and get another heart. And there's also a secret place that will give me some extra coins, the money of the game. And whoop, more bombs. And then once I have that money, I can buy a candle, which will open up a couple other places where you can get another couple hearts. Now there's a heart right there, but I don't have the item. You need a raft, I think, or the ladder, one or the other, to get to that one. There's another one up here. If you have the raft, you can go up right there and get another heart. But I'm not ready for those just yet. So the blue ones here take 2 hits with this sword. The red ones only take 1. There's definitely some additional power levels later in the game, I believe, that's kind of consistent. But eventually I'll be able to get a better sword. And then that sword can take those out easier. There we go. Oops. Wouldn't it be great if you just went back in and he was there again? You could just get like more and more hearts. That would probably be a bit of a cheat, but you know, be cool. Alrighty. These little doohickeys here are annoying as all get out. You can only hurt them when they're not moving. So you kind of have to like just chill out while they do their thing. And then when they stop, there's a short window when they're vulnerable. Not these things, the things that were on the last screen. These are similar. They're not impossible to hurt when they're moving. It's just difficult. And where is it at? There we go. So some point in the game, somebody will tell you that this is a place you can go to, but I just happen to remember it. I think it's 100 coins. Yep. So now we can go back and there's at least one that I remember right now where it is. Ooh, So these guys need 3 hits. Oh, this stopwatch here, if I can get to it, will freeze everybody. Aha. And let me attack them at my leisure. Yeah, the secrets in this game are a bit vague. Like it's not super obvious, but there's like at some point someone says the uppermost peninsula is the secret or something along those lines. Oh, son of a gun. And you just kind of have to explore. I think there we go. Okay, getting close. Nope, don't want to go that way. So basically I need to go back to kind of where I started. And then there's a shop nearby that will let me get the candle. And then there's a bush not far from that. I think one of these can be burnt too. Some of these that you burn and there's like doorways underneath and there's, you know, treasures or whatever shops. But sometimes there's people who are just like, hey, you broke down my door, and you have to pay them money. So you lose money by going to them. So it's kind of helpful if you remember which one's which. And I do not remember all of them. Don't need that. I think this is the starting place. No. I think though, is there a door there? Yes, there is. Yay, okay. Here we go. So I'm going to get the candle. Now the blue candle, you can only use it once per screen. So like once you use it, you can't use it again. Later on, much later in the game actually, you can get a red candle which you can just use over and over and over again. Ooh. Ah. Okay, so this is a bush that you can burn. I think this is a shop. Yeah, so you can buy refill hearts, meat, which there's a boss monster there that helps, and then you can buy a shield for 9, which I think is like the cheapest place you can buy the shield. And then the heart is somewhere in here, but I don't remember exactly which one it is, so it's not the fourth one over. Sometimes you get, if you put it like between two, you can actually hit either one. I'm saying with the bombs, like, so if you place them where it hits between two, it's sometimes better. Okay, now we go. So now we are up to 6 hearts. Once you have 7 hearts, you can get the next sword, which is the Master Sword, I think, and then later there's the Magic Sword, or I may have that backwards. But you need 7 hearts total to get the first one, and I think 12 hearts total to get the second. All right, so here we go. Here's the first dungeon. So probably the goal, assuming I can do it successfully, would be to beat this dungeon and then call it a day. And then each time I play, try to beat 1 dungeon, maybe 2, depending on how fast they go, because I won't always have to do so much running around. But we shall see. Keys are important. When you get into the dungeons, basically there are locked doors. You got to have keys to get through them. So trying not to use keys that you don't need to, so you have an excess, is very handy. So if I can like keep a key from this dungeon that I don't actually have to use, then I'll have an extra when I go into the next dungeon, and so on and so forth. So sometimes bombing through walls can give you access to a room that you might have needed to use a key for. I don't remember for sure. Nope. But I know at least the second dungeon for sure, I believe, has a whole bunch of rooms that you can bomb through. So a couple of things you're looking for in pretty much all the dungeons is the compass and the map. The compass will give you a little red indicator of where the main boss is. And then the map will actually, it'll show you sort of a outline of what the dungeon looks like, but it doesn't tell you like what's in any of the rooms or anything like that. But it's still very helpful. Usually in most dungeons, there's also an item that's hid. So like I'm not going to use the key there. I kind of feel like I can get to that room another way, maybe. So if I go here, so now I can go left. Oh. So here's the map. So now we can kind of get the overall outline of what the dungeon looks like. So in the top left-hand corner, you can see kind of looks like a 1 with a slash through it, but then a little bit of an arm coming off. And then if you check your map, you can see where you've been. And so you can get an idea of like where you have left to go. So I can go left now, which is the same as going up through that room with the key, but I don't have to use the key, so it saves me a key. Important. There's blocks, and certainly in later Zelda games, more so than the first one, though there's some in this one, moving blocks is a puzzle element. So here you go. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. So that's where I went and got that money. It was 100 coins type of a thing. I think that's the only thing that points you in that direction. So you still have to know to like go up, even though it doesn't look like you should. Some of these dungeons will have secret rooms, so you can bomb through a wall into where it looks like there's a space and there's no room there, but there is a room there. So like, for example, this doesn't show me that there's any rooms to the left or right of where I am. I don't know that there actually is. Nope. We'll check this one over here. But that is one thing you have to do when you're, trying to look for stuff. The map only tells you part of the story. When you don't have a laser sword, a bomb will do in a pinch. Okay, so here you have to sort of outrun these spiky doohickeys. Move that, I can get into here, and this takes me to the bow, which is it's a super important weapon later in the game. There's one type of creature, I think they're called mousers, that are really hard to kill unless you use the bow. And then the bow actually makes them super easy. I don't currently have any arrows. I have to buy arrows. But once you buy arrows, you always have arrows, except it costs 1 ruby or rupee to use them. That's the gold equivalent or the money equivalent in this game. So as long as you have money, you can shoot arrows. Okay, so I don't want to go right here because it takes a key, and it looks like I can go down and then go right for no key, and then hopefully I can get back around and save myself that key. So one of the items I should get in this dungeon is the Boomerang. And the Boomerang changes the game. I think that more than anything, I had mentioned earlier that I didn't know how to play this game at first. My brother-in-law taught me, or the guy who had become my brother-in-law, was how to use the Boomerangs. The Boomerang just completely changes how this game works. All right, so there we go. Okay, so good news is I got the Boomerang. Bad news is I've lost some hearts, so I no longer have laser sword. Usually in the room before the main monster, there's a room like this one, or similar. So what the Boomerang does is it lets you stun enemies. So you can see, like in this case, I can get them all just lined up here. Oh, sorry, I'm glitching a little bit. Oh, and it also lets you get items from afar. So if you see a rupee, you can actually throw it and get it. Okay, so I think I can still win this fight against this main boss without having the laser sword, but it's a lot harder. So I kind of want to go back out or go somewhere else and get into a fight. because if you have it, it's just so much easier. And I don't want to get this far and then die. So I think I want to do is I'm going to go out and then come back in, which will reset the dungeon and it'll bring all the monsters back. Now that I have the boomerang and I have pretty much direct access. Oh, here's something. I didn't know this would be here. Maybe this will work. Haha. Come on, heart. Heart. Nope. Let's go in here. I'll show you some skeletons. There we go. Whew. Ah. Aha. Laser sword to the rescue. Okay. So now what would be embarrassing if I get to the final fight and now I lose, but I hope that that doesn't happen. I'm not going to be too worried about fighting stuff right now because I just want to get through this. If those hands grab you, they actually take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, which is really annoying. So I got a message that OBS disconnected. I didn't drop any frames or anything. It just disconnected, but now it's reconnected. So hopefully that's just a glitch. We'll see how it turns out once we get the file over. But that's it. So I beat the unicorn dragon with the laser sword, and I get the first piece of the Triforce, which you'd think the Triforce would be 3 pieces, but it's not. I don't know. There's math. But that takes you out of the first dungeon, takes you back to the beginning. And boom. So I'm going to go ahead and, so there's really no way to save the game. You pretty much have to die. So I'm going to turn the stream off and then let my character get killed. So next time, which probably tomorrow, I'm going to go get the Master Sword and then hit Dungeon 2. Maybe do 2 and 3 because both those are kind of short. So I don't know. That's the plan. But anyways, Foxblade, thanks for joining me. I don't know if anybody else was in and out or had popped in, but if you're watching now or in the future, thanks. And this, I'm guessing, will be 9 sessions. The last couple dungeons are pretty involved, so it's possible I may not be able to get through them in one run. But I'm hoping that this will be like a 9-episode series, and then I'll jump into something else. But we'll see. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.